Let's start with why this even matters. As you age, your body goes through natural changes. Your bones lose density, your muscles start to shrink. Doctors call this sarcopenia and osteoporosis, but you don't need fancy terms to understand what's happening. You feel weaker. Stairs become harder. A simple fall could mean a broken hip. And suddenly, the life you've built, your independence, your ability to play with your grandkids or take care of your home, all of that feels at risk. But here's the truth that most people miss. This isn't just about aging, it's about nutrition. Your bones and muscles are living tissues. They need fuel. They need the right building blocks to stay strong. And the good news? You don't need expensive supplements or complicated meal plans. You just need 5 specific foods that are probably already available at your local grocery store. Before we get to the list, let me explain what your body actually needs. Your bones are made mostly of calcium and a protein matrix. They need vitamin D to absorb that calcium. Your muscles need protein to repair and rebuild themselves every single day. They also need magnesium and potassium to function properly, to contract and relax without cramping. And here's the part most people ignore. Your body needs vitamin K2 to make sure that calcium actually goes into your bones and not into your arteries. Because the last thing you want is weak bones and stiff arteries at the same time. Now, the reason I'm emphasizing low-budget foods is simple. Most health advice tells you to buy wild-caught salmon, organic this, grass-fed that, and sure, those are great if you can afford them, but real health isn't reserved for people with money. You can build strong bones and muscles with everyday, affordable foods. That's what we're focusing on today. The first food is eggs. Yes, simple eggs. 1 egg gives you about 6 grams of high-quality protein. That's protein your body can actually use to rebuild muscle tissue. Eggs also contain vitamin D, which is critical because most seniors don't get enough sunlight, especially if you live in colder climates or spend most of your time indoors. Vitamin D helps your intestines absorb calcium. Without it, you could be eating calcium-rich foods all day and still have weak bones. Eggs also have choline, which supports nerve function and helps your brain communicate with your muscles. That matters when you're trying to maintain balance and coordination. Here's how to use them. Eat 2 eggs for breakfast. Scrambled, boiled, poached, however you like. If cholesterol worries you, recent research shows that for most people, dietary cholesterol doesn't significantly raise blood cholesterol. Your liver regulates that. But if you're still concerned, eat 1 whole egg and 1 egg white. You'll still get the protein and most of the nutrients. The second food is canned sardines. I know. A lot of people wrinkle their nose at sardines, but listen to what's inside one small tin. Sardines are loaded with calcium because you eat the tiny bones. Those bones are soft and completely edible. 1 serving gives you more calcium than a glass of milk. They're also packed with omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation in your joints and muscles. Chronic inflammation is one of the main reasons older adults feel stiff and sore all the time. Sardines also contain vitamin D and a decent amount of protein. And they're cheap. You can find a can for $1 or $2. Compare that to fresh fish, which can cost 10 times more. Eat sardines twice a week. Mash them on whole grain toast, mix them into a salad, or just eat them straight from the can with a squeeze of lemon. Your bones and muscles will thank you. The third food is plain yogurt, not the flavored kind loaded with sugar. I'm talking about regular, unsweetened yogurt. 1 cup of plain yogurt gives you about 300 milligrams of calcium. That's nearly a third of what you need in a day. It also provides protein, around 10 to 15 grams per cup depending on the brand. But here's what makes yogurt special. It contains probiotics, the beneficial bacteria that live in your gut. Now, you might be wondering what your gut has to do with your bones and muscles. Here's the connection. Your gut is where you absorb nutrients. If your digestive system isn't working properly, it doesn't matter how much calcium or protein you eat. Your body won't absorb it efficiently. Probiotics help maintain a healthy gut lining, which improves nutrient absorption. They also reduce inflammation throughout your body, including in your joints. There's another benefit most people don't know about. Recent studies show that gut bacteria actually influence bone density. Certain strains of probiotics can increase calcium absorption and even stimulate the cells that build new bone tissue. So when you eat yogurt regularly, you're not just getting calcium, you're helping your body use that calcium more effectively. Buy the large tubs of plain yogurt. They're more economical than the small individual containers. If plain yogurt tastes too sour for you, add a handful of berries or a drizzle of honey. Not too much, just enough to make it enjoyable. Eat yogurt every day. Have it for breakfast, as a snack, or even as a base for salad dressings. Your bones, your muscles, and your gut will all benefit. The fourth food is leafy greens, specifically collard greens, kale, or turnip greens. These vegetables are nutrition powerhouses, and they cost almost nothing. 1 cup of cooked collard greens gives you over 200 milligrams of calcium. That's more than half a glass of milk. They're also rich in vitamin K, which I mentioned earlier. Vitamin K activates proteins that bind calcium to your bones. Without enough vitamin K, calcium can end up in your blood vessels instead of your skeleton. Leafy greens also provide magnesium, which works alongside calcium to keep your muscles functioning properly. Magnesium helps your muscles relax after they contract. If you've ever had a muscle cramp in your leg at night, that's often a sign of magnesium deficiency. These greens also contain folate, which supports red blood cell production. More red blood cells mean better oxygen delivery to your muscles, which helps with energy and endurance. Here's how to prepare them. Don't boil them to death. That destroys nutrients. Instead, steam them lightly or sauté them with a little olive oil and garlic. The fat from the olive oil actually helps your body absorb the fat-soluble vitamins in the greens, like vitamin K. Eat a serving of leafy greens at least 4 times a week. If you can manage it every day, even better. The fifth food is beans. Black beans, pinto beans, navy beans, kidney beans, chickpeas. Any type works. Beans are one of the most underrated foods for bone and muscle health. 1 cup of cooked beans gives you about 15 grams of protein. That's comparable to a serving of meat, but at a fraction of the cost. Beans also provide magnesium, potassium, and phosphorus, all minerals that support bone structure and muscle function. But here's what makes beans truly special. They're rich in resistant starch. This is a type of carbohydrate that your body doesn't digest in the small intestine. Instead, it travels to your colon, where it feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Remember what we talked about with yogurt? A healthy gut means better nutrient absorption. Resistant starch also helps regulate blood sugar, which is important because high blood sugar levels can actually weaken bones over time. Beans are incredibly versatile and cheap. A bag of dried beans costs a couple of dollars and can make multiple meals. If you don't want to cook dried beans, canned beans work fine. Just rinse them to reduce the sodium. Add beans to soups, stews, salads, or mash them into dips. Eat beans at least 3 times a week. They'll give you sustained energy, help build muscle, and support your bone health all at once. Now I want to address something important. You might be thinking, I already eat some of these foods, but I still feel weak. Here's the reality. Nutrition alone isn't enough. You also need to use your muscles and bones. They respond to stress. When you lift something heavy, even if it's just a gallon of milk, your muscles tear slightly and then rebuild stronger. When you walk or do weight-bearing exercises, your bones sense the pressure and respond by becoming denser. So pair these 5 foods with regular movement. You don't need to join a gym. Walk for 30 minutes a day. Do some light resistance exercises with household items. Stand up and sit down from a chair 10 times. These simple activities tell your body, we need strong muscles and bones. Use the nutrients we're giving you. Now let's talk about how to put all of this together in a way that actually works for your daily life. Because knowing what to eat is one thing, actually doing it consistently is another. And that's where most people struggle. They hear advice, they feel motivated for a few days, and then they fall back into old habits. So I'm going to give you a simple framework that makes this effortless. Start with breakfast. This is your foundation meal. Make it count. 2 eggs cooked however you like. A cup of plain yogurt with some berries. That's it. You've just given your body high-quality protein, calcium, vitamin D, probiotics, and you've barely spent $3. This breakfast will keep you full for hours because protein and fat digest slowly. You won't have those mid-morning energy crashes that make you reach for cookies or pastries. For lunch, think about beans and greens. Make a big pot of bean soup at the beginning of the week. Throw in whatever vegetables you have: carrots, celery, tomatoes, and a generous amount of leafy greens like kale or collard greens. Season it simply with garlic, onion, a bay leaf, and some black pepper. This soup will last you 4 or 5 days. Each bowl gives you protein from the beans, calcium and vitamin K from the greens, and fiber that feeds your gut bacteria. You've just covered multiple nutritional bases with one simple meal. For dinner, rotate your protein sources. One night, have sardines on toast with a side salad. Another night, make scrambled eggs with sautéed greens. Another night, have bean chili or a bean-based pasta dish. Notice a pattern? You're eating the same 5 foods but preparing them differently so you don't get bored. Variety in preparation matters just as much as variety in ingredients. Here's a trick that makes everything easier. Prep once, eat multiple times. Hard-boil a dozen eggs on Sunday. They'll last all week in your fridge. Cook a large batch of beans. Portion them into containers. Wash and chop your greens so they're ready to throw into any meal. When healthy food is convenient, you'll actually eat it. When it requires effort every single time, you'll skip it. Now let's talk about something most health videos ignore. What if you have a limited appetite? Many seniors simply don't feel hungry like they used to. Your metabolism slows down, certain medications reduce appetite, and eating alone can feel less enjoyable. But your body still needs nutrients, maybe even more than when you were younger, because it's not as efficient at absorbing and using them. If this is you, focus on nutrient density. That means getting the most nutrition from smaller amounts of food. Eggs are perfect for this. 2 eggs are small but packed with what you need. A smoothie is another solution. Blend yogurt, a handful of cooked greens, yes, they work in smoothies, a spoonful of nut butter for extra calories and magnesium, and some frozen berries. You've just created a drinkable meal that's easy to consume even when you're not feeling hungry. Also, consider eating smaller meals more frequently. Instead of 3 large meals, have 5 or 6 small ones throughout the day. A hard-boiled egg mid-morning, yogurt in the afternoon, a small bowl of beans in the evening. This approach keeps a steady supply of nutrients flowing into your body without overwhelming your appetite. Let's address cost one more time because I know this matters. These 5 foods, eggs, sardines, yogurt, leafy greens, and beans will cost you roughly $30 to $40 a week. That's less than $2 per meal. Compare that to medical bills for treating osteoporosis or recovering from a fall. Compare it to the cost of losing your independence and needing assistance with daily activities. This isn't just affordable. It's an investment that pays massive returns. But I also want to be realistic with you. Food alone won't reverse severe bone loss or muscle wasting overnight. If you've been neglecting your nutrition for years, it will take time to see improvements. But here's what you can expect. Within 2 to 3 weeks of eating this way, you'll notice better energy. Your digestion will improve. You'll feel less bloated and more comfortable. Within 2 to 3 months, you'll start noticing that you feel steadier on your feet. Tasks that felt difficult, like carrying groceries or getting up from a low chair, will become easier. Within 6 months to a year, if you combine this nutrition with regular movement, your bone density scans and muscle measurements will show real, measurable improvements. One more thing, hydration. Your muscles are about 75% water. Your bones need water to transport nutrients. Dehydration makes everything worse. It makes you feel weak, dizzy, and increases your risk of falls. Drink water throughout the day. Not just when you're thirsty, because by the time you feel thirsty, you're already mildly dehydrated. Keep a water bottle nearby. Drink a glass when you wake up, one with each meal, and one before bed. If plain water bores you, add a slice of lemon or cucumber. I also want you to understand something about aging that our culture gets wrong. Weakness, frailty, and loss of independence are not inevitable parts of getting older. They're consequences of inactivity and poor nutrition. Yes, your body changes with age, but those changes can be managed, even reversed in many cases, with the right approach. You have more control than you think. These 5 foods, eggs, sardines, yogurt, leafy greens, and beans, are tools. Use them consistently, pair them with daily movement, stay hydrated, and you're setting yourself up for a strong, independent, vibrant later life. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, and that's exactly what you deserve. So here's what I want you to do today. Pick one of these 5 foods and add it to your next meal. Just one. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. Small, consistent actions create lasting change. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Prime Health Lab for more practical, no-nonsense health advice that actually works. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 5 foods you're going to start with. I read every comment and I want to hear from you. Remember, your health is your wealth. Take care of it. I'll see you in the next video.
Prime Health Lab is dedicated to men's internal health. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.